Okay, so back to the my thoughts on the Hombu Dojo and Aikido certification. What bothers me is you finally, well, perhaps other people have not thought of it, but I finally woke up to martial arts in the world has always been for people who are more well off. Even in Japan, the rich people would do these martial arts and the poor people wouldn't. You know, we use wooden kens and joes, but the samurais would have the real swords. Rather than go into history, I'd like to still talk about the business side. It saddens me to think that in the early days, it must have been quite slow, the money coming in. All the teachers, Japanese teachers, would go out around the world, start their clubs, and it must have been hard at first. Then over the years, it became more popular. Steven Seagal put it on the map, Aikido, I believe, anyhow. And the classes were really large, regular, and everybody's paying a little bit into their club and only thinking about the art they love, how much they get out of it. And the pure pleasure doesn't come into money. But when it gets to taking the Shodan test, their first dan, black belt, for me, I never really worried because what's £100, £200? I was in business, quite well off. But what about these very poor countries? You know, even now, $500 for fourth dan, fifth dan, 1,000 perhaps for a seventh dan. The prices vary from year to year. But how does someone who's almost working for 2 weeks or a whole month's wages just to get a piece of paper that they've earned, their teacher has said that they're good enough, and someone at the other end who doesn't even know them signs the piece of paper? It's a great honour to receive this piece of paper, and I've received many. And I hang them on the wall. Some people just leave them in the box that they returned in, knowing that they've earned that grade and they're worthy of it, and they hopefully will want to strive to go further. Whether they're worth it or not, in my opinion, I'll go into in other films. Because nowadays I'm seeing the ranks going much higher at a much earlier age. And so much of it is choreographed, set up. They don't know it because that's the way they were taught from the day the student first arrived in the dojo. They were told what to do. Talking sheep. And the head of the herd told them exactly what to do, how they should do it. But the buzz Aikido gives us, we have become blind to the reality of what we are supposed to be getting out of it. The thing is, we do get so much out of Aikido. It touches strings of our heart and our soul that cannot perhaps be found in other arts. It's a very, very deep understanding art. And out of all the things I've done in life, I'm still searching because I'm getting so much pleasure out of it. But I also now think, well, it's a money-making machine, and that's a little sad. But as long as it doesn't affect us, we can keep searching for our Aikido. The hundreds and thousands, and I mean hundreds and thousands, of people who have made their black belts at all different levels. All this money trail is going back to the Hombu Dojo to support the factory. You may not like to think of it as a factory, but it has several floors where classes are being taught throughout the day. People will go there because everybody wants to go to Mecca at some time in their life. The same as I wanted to go to Iwama. To me, that was Mecca. A lot of people went to Iwama, didn't like it, it was too hard. Whether you do any style of Aikido, it's enjoyable. They're all hard because they're all demanding of fitness from the body. And if the body has to work really hard, then you're going to get bruises, you're going to get damaged. Very occasionally you get the breakage. Not so often, I'm really pleased to say, but you will get the breakages. So we're not doing it for the money reason, we're doing it for personal satisfaction. Did Kishimura do it for upholding his father's Aikido, giving it to the world, as Osensei wanted to? He wanted the people of Japan to share his art, to start to heal after the war, to heal the nation. Let's heal it by giving love to each other and caring for each other. This was the message he wanted. Did Kishimura also want this? Or was he thinking, this is a very good business model, and if it's thought out correctly, with his academic background, he could make it into a large operation throughout the world. And he certainly did. And that is what we've been doing. In the early days, I'd done 10 years, as I've already said. It was mixed, I think, looking back on it. It was a mixture of the Iwama Aikido and the Hombu Dojo, because it was fast, flowing, but very powerful and strong techniques. They felt like they were working. We only used to do the 7 Ken Saburi. We then learnt the 31, and some of the senior black belts in the club in London, they made up kumitachis from the sword work. They made their own because we didn't have such set pieces. And they were really nice to watch. But until we were first kyu, we were not even allowed to pick up a ken, swing a ken. It was classed as a high level understanding. Now we teach the people from the day they walk in the dojo about ken and jo. So there is advancement, and in the next films I hope to talk about the pluses and, as I see, the minuses of weapons and taijutsu. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying them. And any comments at any time are helpful.